The story begins in the capital of the empire 1,000 years ago, Purgatory of Secret Thunder. Many people in robes flee from the explosion. The wounded man grabs Mr. Master's leg and says that the monster's attack is too strong and they will not survive. The master with blonde hair says that he doesn't have to worry. His hand emits a powerful aura and he says that he will not allow the monsters to run amok. This man is the first imperial master of the empire, AI Wire. The demon with dark long hair laughs and asks if he is their last hope. This so-called brave man of the empire is one blow away from him. Their attacks are useless as they can heal within a minute. These insignificant people will not see victory. AI Wire says that it looks like he won't be able to defeat him with normal attacks. He takes off his robe and asks what else he can do but explode, sacrificing himself. The demon begins to worry and says that he shouldn't bother, because no matter how strong his explosion is, he will still be able to heal in the blink of an eye. AI Wire says that he who laughs last laughs best. A very strong explosion occurs, which illuminates everything around. People in robes look at this and ask, did Master win? Suddenly, a demon's hand appears from under the rubble. He gets out and, laughing, says that they are rejoicing too early. His so-called explosion is not capable of killing him. People fall into despair and ask whether they are really powerless against him. Their self-healing power is terrifying and they are all finished. The demon uses magic and says that very soon his body will be restored to its previous state, and then they will all die. He notices that his magic isn't working and asks why he hasn't recovered yet. AI Wire appears from under the rubble and says that he finally noticed. He put all his life force into this explosion and also used the power of the curse. From today on, none of the monsters will be able to heal anymore. The demon is shocked by his words and loudly shouts no, raising his head up. In modern world, at the Old John Traditional Chinese Medicine Center in Jiang City, the man says loudly that it looks like he will die again. He asks to heal him faster. He sees a notification that the character chosen by the player is from a magic clan. It is impossible to gain a magical bonus to healing. The man looks at his console for a while and is silent. He throws his console on the table in a fit of anger. This man's name is Huang He and he turned 30 this year. He asks if they decided to ban the magic clan from using healing magic to maintain balance between the clans. The planning for this game is very poor. As you can see, he is a doctor, traditional Chinese medicine doctor. However, during this time, patients visit major hospitals if they become ill. Only members of the older generation will visit him from time to time. Huang He hits the table with his head and says that he has never had a girlfriend, although he is already 30 years old and also does not use these hereditary medical skills. His life is a complete failure. His tears fall next to the console, on which is written congratulations on receiving the chance to become a great magician. Would he like to accept this offer? Huang He thinks that if only he had a chance to start over. Suddenly a girl enters his office. She apologizes and asks, he must be Huang He, right? This girl is the president of Zhen Corporation, Zhen Yaoqian. He stands up and says she is Huang He. He realizes that this is the excellent president of Zhen Corporation. She bows and asks to be allowed to pay her respects to the Great Lord of Medicine. She tells the Great Lord of Medicine that there is something he doesn't know. He is actually the descendant of a very skilled physician from ancient times. The clan sent her to the mortal world to cultivate the ability to heal in virtue. He has now completed his 30 years of examination and mastered the art of medicine. The family would allow him to come back and claim his $10 billion inheritance and then marry her. Huang He is amazed by his $10 billion inheritance and marriage to Zhen Yaoqian. He thinks he's finally done it. Zhen Yaoqian asks the Great Lord of Medicine if he agrees to return to his clan. Huang He asks if he even needs to think about it twice. Of course he agrees. He thinks it reads like a scene straight out of a novel. Only an idiot would refuse this. Suddenly, his console notifies that the player has accepted the invitation to become a great magician. Preparations for the transition begin. They both look at the console as the countdown goes on. His console emits a bright glow and Huang He is pulled inside. The console says the game has started. In the sea-level underground city, the secret world of despair, a huge explosion occurs. Someone loudly says the name of the skill, Holy Inferno Steel Tempest. The guy defeats several monsters using this skill and gains experience. He smiles smugly and says that they are very weak. Other people say Enigma is amazing, he killed them all in one fell swoop. He says it's just a bunch of level 1 zombies, it's nothing to him. He had long heard that it was easy to pass by this underground city, but he never expected that it would be even easier than the rumors said. Some say that an underground city like this is nothing in the eyes of the young Enigma master. The girl says that everyone still better be careful. After all, this is an elite underground city of the 35th level. Perhaps the previous zombies were planted as bait to get them to let their guard down. The guy asks how dare she say such things. Is she looking down on the young master? The young Enigma master has great skill in planning and executing battle plans, which allowed him to gain the title of Noble Magical Swordsman at the age of 24. Moreover, he wields the sacred sword of Inferno, which is attributed with holy light. It is the sworn enemy of all undead in the underground cities. The young master is so strong, how can he be afraid of dead creatures? The other girl smiles and says that was well said. The guys turn around and ask who is it. The girl says that in that case, they should let her introduce them to the powers of the Arch Necromancer. This girl is the Secret World of Despair Level 3 boss, Level 35 Arch Necromancer, Alice. Enigma says this boss just smells like death. This cannot be compared with other past soldiers. Alice summons the undead. People got scared and wondered, are they attacking? She kicks the young master. She could not reach him and they stood in silence for some time. Enigma strikes and says, Holy Inferno Skewer. Alice starts crying and says it's too hot. The guy says that as he said, with the young master here in this underground city there is absolutely nothing to worry about. The girl asks if this boss is really that weak. Alice says it looks like she'll have to take this seriously. A magic circle appears under her feet and she uses the skill, Undead Chaos Wave. People were surrounded by many undead. She tells these stupid people that they will drown in this wave of undead. Enigma says it's just a level 1 zombie. He can take care of them quickly. His sword lights up with a strong flame and he uses the skill Holy Inferno Last Breath. With this skill he releases very strong flames. Alice asks how is this possible. She wonders if she will fail again. This is the 6th time she has been defeated by an adventurer this month. Will she be unable to achieve the goals the city lord has set for her? The girl says they should hurry up. There was one zombie left that was not destroyed. A figure was visible behind a large amount of smoke. Enigma says it's impossible. His highly inferno sword kills every undead it comes across. Who is he anyway? Huang He, who is a monster, panics and wonders if he has really moved. Did he move and turn into a zombie? Will the protagonist's journey along the path of becoming a great magician be successful? He asks why he moved when he could have married a beautiful, rich girl and inherited a fortune of $10 billion. The system notifies that the player Huang He has decided to become a Grand Master and has now successfully traveled through time in the in-game world. He says that he does not want to become a Grand Master and it should bring him back as quickly as possible. The system notifies that the player cannot return to his original world if he has not completed his main mission. Enigma asks what is this guy doing? Huang He asks what is the main mission. What does he need to do before he can return? The system notifies that there are 2 ways to return to the original world. The first is by completing the main mission and becoming the most powerful Grand Master in the game world. Second, if Huang He dies in the game, he will be considered to have failed his mission and will also be transported back to his home world. The girl asks why this zombie suddenly stopped moving. Maybe he is preparing for some powerful attack. The guy says she shouldn't worry. He's just a level 1 zombie. The girl says that, however, he managed to defend himself from the powerful attack of the young master. The guy says it was just a coincidence. It will explode after the young master's next attack. Enigma says this is true. There will be no mistakes this time. He panics and wonders how this guy could resist Holy Inferno attacks. He must put all his effort into the next attack. Huang He calls the one called Enigma and says that he must kill him quickly. He exudes a very strong and terrifying aura. He thinks his mission is accomplished. Only an idiot would waste his time slowly leveling up to become the strongest master. He can return to his home world if this guy kills him. Enigma gets angry and says that he is just a level 1 zombie. How dare he mock him? His sword lights up very brightly and he says that then he will fulfill his dream. Huang He is very happy and asks him to do it. Enigma uses the skill Holy Inferno Sweeping Blade. It fires a very strong beam of fire that hits the target. This attack repulses Huang He and he thinks that he can now return to his home world, marry a rich and beautiful girl and inherit his $10 billion fortune. She falls on her back after this attack. He received 1 point of damage and there is not a single scratch on him. He gets up and asks why he's almost okay. The system notifies that the player Huang He belongs to the zombie clan. He is immune to 99% of physical attacks. Moreover, his corpse is made from the remains of a special person. He has an additional 99% immunity to magical attacks. Alice raised her head proudly and laughed. She grabs Huang He and asks if they saw it. This is the power of the Arch Necromancer. He thinks she smells very good and she is very close. The girl says that there seems to be something wrong with this zombie. Perhaps they should leave now. Enigma says she should leave him alone. He pushes this girl away and says that today he must teach him what happens to those who insult him. He uses the Holy Inferno Possession skill. The guy says it appeared. The Holy Inferno Possession is Enigma's most powerful move. He had heard that a young master had once used this technique to defeat a magical being that was 10 levels above him. The girl says that this technique uses a large amount of magical power. Can Enigma handle this? Wang he thinks that he has already seen this move, the Holy Inferno Possession, in the game before. This can increase the user's strength by 3 times. This time he should be able to kill him. He looks at Enigma for a moment as he approaches him. They say he should kill him if he can. Alice says that her little zombie took the initiative and decided to sacrifice himself for her. Could it be that her summoning skill increased on its own? Enigma tells this little zombie that he should let him show him what hell looks like. He strikes very hard with his sword using the true Holy Inferno /skill. Wang he and Enigma were very embarrassed that he only received 3 points of damage. He says he did too little damage. Enigma says he should shut up, he just didn't use his full power. He uses the same skill again and deals 2 damage. Wang he says that this was even worse than the previous blow. Is he really trying to take over the underground city with such force? Enigma says this is just the beginning. He reuses his skill, but Wang he says that it is still not enough. On the next attack, he says that it is still not strong. To another attack, he asks, is he sure that he is attacking him? Enigma's mana is spent much faster than Wang He's health points. The girl asks if he is sure that this will continue in the future. The guy says that must be the case. Sometime later, Enigma breathes heavily as he looks at his opponent. He says that he is finally going to kill this monster. Wang He's health points are almost gone and he says that he should continue then. Enigma says that he must be ready to receive the last Holy Inferno sword from him. Wang he rejoices and thinks that this will finally happen. He will finally be able to return to his real world. Enigma strikes, but his sword breaks as he attacks. He strikes with a broken sword and a system window appears in which it is written that the weapon's durability is 0. Automatic destruction triggered. Wang he asks, the weapon chose the right time to destroy, didn't it? The system notifies that the player Wang he has been attacked 1,000 times in a row and will be given a secret title, Tampered Heavyweight. The effect of this title, 100 health points will be replenished every second. He shakes Enigma and says that he shouldn't pay attention to his broken weapon, he should hurry up and hit it a couple more times. His health will be fully restored if he doesn't hit him. Enigma shakes and says that he is a monster. He runs away and says loudly that this guy is a monster, he wants to go home. The remaining people ask the young master to wait for them. The guy runs away and loudly says that he won't know what awaits him when the young Enigma master returns to the top of his game. Wang he was surprised and asked what was going on here. Enigma runs away crying and shouts that it is a monster. People run after him and ask him to wait for them. Alice wakes up and asks if they're done fighting yet. Wang he fell to his knees and asks why are all the characters here so weak that they can't even kill him, a first level demon. He turns and says it's her. He starts shaking Alice and says that she must be the one who called him here. She needs to get him back quickly. She asks him to stop shaking her. She removes his hands from her robe and tells him that he should listen to her. He is the most powerful demon she has ever encountered, and he will have to help her defeat the adventurers that will be lurking around in the future. She won't let him come back. Wang he leaves and says that in this case, he himself will figure out how to return. Alice asks him not to leave. She asks how dare he disobey her orders. He shouldn't blame her for not showing mercy. He must stand still. Suddenly he stopped. Wang he wonders why his body doesn't move anymore. Alice says that all dead spirits she summons must obey her orders. He will have to be obedient and help her defeat adventurers in the future. But with that said, he is very powerful despite only being at level 1 and he is also sentient. The most important thing is that he is fluffy and much cuter than those idiot zombies. Wang he thinks it smells very good. This is the smell of a beautiful girl. Alice feels pain in her shoulder and says that the Holy Inferno sword just did too much damage to her. Wang he says that she should let him heal her. She says he should stop making jokes. The Magic Clan sealed their healing abilities long ago, 1,000 years ago. She'll probably have to nurse this wound for 20 years before she gets better. Wang he says it doesn't have to be like that. He rips off her robe and she screams loudly in surprise. He takes out some needles and says that he is Wang He, the Lord of Medicine. He sticks 2 needles into her shoulder. Alice looks at this and notices that her intense pain has disappeared. Wang he says that stopping the pain is only the first step. What happens next is much more important. He realizes that he must remove the flesh that was burned and release the poisonous blood corroded by the Holy Inferno sword. Finally, he needs to lubricate the wound with readily available herbs to treat traumatic injuries and bandage it. Alice says she feels much better. Wang he says that later he will prescribe her some soups that will speed up the healing process. She should make a full recovery in less than 10 days. Alice says that the Magic Clan's healing abilities were sealed away, but he managed to improve the condition of her wound after he took care of it. Is he really the magical creature she summoned? He's different from those lousy zombies she usually summons. Wang he laughed nervously and said that of course it is. He thinks that he cannot tell her that he moved here from reality. He says that she must have been able to summon him because her summoning ability has increased. It would be better if they didn't talk about it for now. He will conduct several massage sessions that will speed up the healing process. Alice asks what does this mean. Huang he waves his hands and says something like this. He jumps up and touches her from behind. Alice's face turns red and wonders what's going on. He just touched her shoulder, but it felt like she was electrified. Her whole body becomes much lighter and it seems to her that she is floating. This feeling is very comfortable. Huang he says that the Huang family's chiropractic massage is not something that an ordinary person can endure. Alice fell to the floor behind him and he says he also stuck needles into her acupuncture points for sleep. Now he will see how she plans to stop him from seeking death this time. He runs away and thinks there's a $10 billion inheritance and a stunning bride. They're going for it. He runs out of the passage and finds himself over the abyss. Huang he falls down and asks why the door leads to the edge of a cliff. But perhaps he will die even faster from jumping off a cliff. It should allow him to return to his real world. He falls to the ground with very few health points remaining, and he left a large crater after his fall. He immediately begins to regenerate and says that he was only a little short. Huang he notices the monsters near him and asks them to attack him. The monsters ask, is there something wrong with this guy's brain? There must be something wrong with him. They just saw him fall from the 3rd floor, so this is one of Alice's subordinates. The monsters start to leave and Huang he asks them not to ignore him. He asks why these demons don't work with him. He first needs to stitch his leg back up, even though it hurts a lot. Since they don't want to hit him, it's okay if he hits himself. He should see what techniques he can use to hit himself. Many system windows with techniques appear in front of him and he says that he knows a lot of techniques. The system notifies that the player's body has special bonuses that give him the natural ability to use all magical techniques available in the game. Huang he says that this body looks like a teddy bear. Why does it have so many special bonuses? But who cares? Dying is the most important thing right now. It should beat him to death. He uses the Purgatory of Secret Thunder skill, but nothing happens. He asks why he can't use this technique. Didn't it say that he could use all magical techniques? The system notifies you that using this technique requires the use of appropriate mana points. Huang he asks why he always dies so easily in the game, but it becomes so difficult for him to die when he actually transmigrated into the game world. Several angry, snarling wolves appear behind him. Saliva falls on Huang he's head and he says that it will be better if he looks for some other way to die. He notices water falling on him and asks if this is rain in the underground city. He turns around and notices the wolves standing behind him. He says that this is Cerberus, a level 25 boss, and his attacks have special critical damage. Cerberus bites him and he is pleased and says that now he can die. Suddenly, Cerberus' teeth break and Huang he notices this. The other two heads don't understand what happened. Cerberus spits it out along with its teeth. Huang he asks why it stopped. It must bite him. Suddenly, a system window appeared in front of him. Cerberus looks at him menacingly. The system notifies you that the player has dealt damage for the first time while in defensive mode. The player has received the passive skill Hard Skin. During a physical attack, the player can reflect 1% of the damage inflicted by the enemy. Huang he says that the number of useless skills has increased. Fortunately, this is not a skill that restores health. Cerberus slams his paw on the ground, causing many cracks to appear on the ground. This attack knocks up Huang he and pink flames appear from underground. He says it's Cerberus's ultimate skill, Hellfire. He can not only control the enemy, but also deal great damage. He silently remains in the sphere of flame for some time. He tells the master that the temperature is not enough. It should increase it quickly. The monsters say that this little zombie's fire resistance is very high. Has Alice leveled up again? Nobody knows about this. Maybe he has mutated. None of this matters. The main problem now is that Cerberus is going berserk. Cerberus will go into frenzy mode when it is in extreme rage. In this mode, even leader level bosses will have to be careful to defeat him. At the same time, Huang he's body is engulfed in energy and suspended in the air. He asks what kind of skill is this. He had never seen this in a game before. He turns around and sees Cerberus behind him. The boss attacks him, dealing 4,399 damage with the Hellflame Bite skill. Huang he thinks that Cerberus is very strong in rampage mode. This one hit spent 70% of his health points. He is very happy and says it can be done. He runs and tells the master dog that this blow just wasn't bad. He must bite him again, otherwise his health points will be restored again. He runs to Cerberus and looks at him. Foam comes out of all the boss's mouths. Cerberus falls to the ground and dies. The system notifies you that the player used the Tough Skin passive skill to kill the boss. Huang he asks if he can't die even with this. The system notifies that the player has increased his level to the second, his health points are 58-0, and his mana points are 120. He notices something glowing lying on the floor and asks what is it. He comes closer and sees a fang. The system notifies that the player has received the Cerberus Fang accessory. Passive effect plus 100 mana points, additional Hellflame on normal attacks. Huang he says that the Fang is an important material for increasing the level of the Infernal set, but it is of no use to him. Although, some items can also increase mana points, so if he equips the right items he can use stronger skills. The stronger the skill, the more likely he is to die. He laughed as he realized this. He gives off a scary aura and says that he is going to kill demons next. The monsters start to run away and one of them says that they must quickly tell Miss Dorothy that Zombie Alice has arrived. He stopped and asked if they really had to run that fast. The legs that are sewn to his body break again. Is there really no easy way to die? Either way, he'll try the skill he learned and see how strong it is. He clicks on the system window and says that his time has come for the little ball of fire. When the ball of fire began to fall towards him, his spell had already completely faded away. He says that the skills he has now are very weak. He turns around and notices a huge fireball falling towards him. He says loudly that the fireball he made isn't that big. Some time later, he says that even taking this into account, it only took half of his health points. Couldn't this just give him a clean death? Suddenly a cloud of smoke appears in front of him. A girl with horns hugs him. He wonders, did this girl fall from the sky? Why does he experience this immediately after relocation? Did he just use up all the good karma he had accumulated over the